The Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs reports limited improvements in the flow of critical supplies into Gaza, even as needs remain immense and people continue to depend heavily on aid. Data collected through the UN 2720 mechanism indicate a 33% increase in the volume of supplies that we and our partners were able to bring into Gaza in July compared with June. That's more than 55,000 pallets of aid, roughly 35,000 metric tons, or 26,000 truckloads, bringing us closer to the levels recorded before the regional escalation began at the end of February. About 60% of these supplies were food, followed by smaller volumes of shelter, water, sanitation, hygiene, and health items. Additional supplies were brought in by the private sector. Still, our humanitarian partners warned that restrictions remain on the types of supplies allowed into Gaza. Specifically, they say more approvals are needed to bring engine oil and spare parts into the Strip, because all humanitarian operations depend on vehicles and backup generators that need to be maintained. Repeated denials of requests to bring in engine oil, combined with insufficient quantities of quality lubricant oil coming in through the private sector, mean that critical operations at hospitals, pumping stations, and bakeries could be reduced or forced to stop. Another restriction is on durable shelter materials. Most of Gaza's 2.1 million people remain displaced in poor conditions, and so far our humanitarian partners have mostly been allowed to bring in tents that do not last long. To put this in context, a new assessment by the UN Satellite Center estimates that the number of destroyed structures across Gaza has increased by 9% since the declaration of a ceasefire in October 2025. Overall, about 82% of the structures in Gaza are damaged. That's more than 200,000 structures that are damaged to some degree, and 2/3 of them are assessed to have been destroyed.
You mentioned that overall 82% of infrastructure in Gaza has been destroyed or demolished in some form. So that is since October 2023?
Yes, since October 2023.
By that measure, are the conditions even viable for reconstruction efforts in that case?
Certainly, once the fighting has halted and aid can be brought in, Gaza, like any other place that's been affected by conflicts, can be rebuilt. We at the UN have a long experience, in fact, of rebuilding different areas that have been conflict zones. And the UN Development Program, in particular, has been making the analysis of how much it would cost in terms of both rubble removal and reconstruction. But as I pointed out, part of what we need is to be able to bring in the sort of equipment that is needed for durable housing. And one of the things I just pointed out is that actually, according to the information by UNISAT, the number of destroyed structures in Gaza has not gone down since the October 2025 ceasefire. It's actually increased by 9% since then. So even in this period of what our Secretary General refers to as lesser fire, there continues to be damage and partial destruction of buildings.